Yeah.
Sit back. You said you were gonna sit back. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Angel. I am the producer. Is it that producer?
No.
No, what is it? The main character of this YouTube video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to this video. We're here again with y'all. This is Jose Luis Cruz.
Y yo soy
You're my producer.
Yo soy el productor.
He edits my videos y nada más se peina. Te peinaste si te viniste. So today our topic for this video is gonna be values, because we feel like we get a lot of relationship questions. We did one of these a while back and I feel
¿What's
like...
en inglés o español?
No, in English.
Oh, I'm gonna do my best to try to answer in English. But yes, I do know English.
Once again, we're gonna do a video because we feel like we get these questions a lot. We did a relationship video about 2 years ago, a year ago.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, we were in LA, it was supposed to be about real estate. It went south, but it ended up getting a lot of y'all's attention and y'all kept requesting for more. So here we are. Disclaimer, we are not the perfect relationship. Todavía nos agarramos.
English.
Oh, we still fight and argue all the time. Sorry guys, my Spanglish is still there. But we feel like this is a topic that always gets overlooked. We just had a conversation with my cuñadita, Jose's sister.
Sister-in-law.
Cuñadita. Oh.
Little sister-in-law. Go.
And we feel like this topic just doesn't get brought up. And she was like, I never thought about that. So we're like, we should make a video about this. What do you want to say? Like 3 years ago, we sat down and we talked about...
Yeah, so every time you find a new person in your life, right? You need to sit down and have a conversation about your values. Make sure you know what they really want and make sure what you really want. That way, you know what both of y'all want and y'all can start building from there. So we had to have a conversation, me and Angel. I told her, you want all of this? Then you need to tell me what you want.
I did not want all of this.
You want all of this? Or you just want my leg? But she said that she wanted everything, so we had to sit down and talk about our values, right?
So in this conversation, we talked about our values. We talked about where we see each other 5 years, 10 years from now. And the main point was that when we talk about our values is we're saying like, hey, these are my three main values that I want and I want to instill in my relationship, and they're like my no bending zone. So my main values were faithfulness, stability, and family. And when I say that is faithfulness, honestly, anybody wants a trustful, reliable relationship where you can walk out of the house and just know that this person is gonna be 100% you and nothing else. And I told that to Jose and he was like, yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. I'm like, yeah, but now I'm verbalizing it to you and I wanna know how you're gonna nurture that. And he kind of just took full throttle because I didn't tell him like, this is what I mean by faithfulness. He kind of just acted on it. He was like, you know what? If this is her like no bend zone, like if I am unfaithful, that's it, then I need to respect that.
Yeah, but it wasn't just, it was not just her value, it was also one of my values. And I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
See,
I understood.
Like real fast. Why? Because that was one of my values. Now, before I started dating again, right after my previous ex, then I gave myself some time. Not only that, I moved out of the city because I wanted to make more money. And I started working on myself. Now, a lot of people start dating people without being a complete person. A complete person means that you don't need anything else to be happy. You're happy with who you are and you're confident about what you bring to the table. And it's not just the table, what you bring to other people's lives. So once you become a complete person, then you can actually go and share your completeness with another person. Now, whenever you share your completeness with another person that's not complete or is not fulfilled with itself,
with
themselves, then that person is gonna start judging you because they're so used to bad stuff. When I say bad stuff,
All that toxic.
That toxicity.
Soy tóxica.
Yeah, so if they're insecure, then they're gonna start telling you, no, that's not right. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to eat home at this time. You shouldn't be texting this person. Erase your, or don't be following this person. I want you to block this person on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat. Share your location, all of that. But why? Because they're not confident about themselves. So that causes mistrust, and then that leads to
mistrust. That's what he said.
Mistrust?
Yeah.
¿Qué dije?
Mistrust.
Mistrust. Trust. Mistrust.
Trust, not trust.
Mistrust. And then that leads to unfaithfulness. Once you don't have that trust.
Yeah. All the other values don't matter because you broke the first one. You're like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what my other values are. I said this, and I had your full attention, and for some reason, you,
the fly.
Even at that, you still did what you wanted to do, and I feel like now we're 3 years later from this conversation, and I can legit feel like he's nurtured that value because he doesn't do anything that makes me want to doubt that value. Like faithfulness, he doesn't make me doubt that he's not unfaithful. It got to the point where we're almost 3 years now and I've never looked through his phone. It's never been like I've never been that person that I've been before where I'm just like, maybe they are writing back, maybe they aren't. It's just, to me, I'm like, I come to work, I do what I have to do, and nowhere in my head is it, what is this other person doing? Because our values are set, and we set no, I'm not gonna bend for this. You do it once and that's it. And I feel like now that we said it and they're just there now, it's just time to nurture those and keep them going. So my second value, you had something else to say?
Well, all of this is, después lo digo. Okay, your second value.
So,
next.
So my second value.
So what's your second value, Angel?
My second value is stability.
No, it's our second value.
Lot of my values.
This is not just about her, because now we are one. We're a team, bro.
So a lot of my values just automatically became his. I just feel like he didn't have ideas. But my second value was stability. And I don't mean this like, I know automatically people are like, oh, quiere estar mantenida, or que él pague todos los biles.
English.
I didn't want him to like just come in and like, this doesn't mean stability as like, I want you to pay all the bills. We're not going half and half, la la la. That's not what this means in a way. But what it did mean is I wanted to see stability in this way. Like, hey, where are you going to be in 5 years? Where are you going to be in 10 years? I want to know where you see yourself, because I want to know if I can, like, if my goals correlate with that and if there can be some stability with those goals. Like, if he was to tell me like, oh, I plan to be a boat whatever, right now I would have been like, what the fuck? A boat person, like a boat driver.
So there's times that you ask people, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And their answer is, oh, I see myself with my kids. It's
and like, let's say like
what?
me, I would have been like, well, I don't want kids in 5 years. I still see myself living my bad life. In 5 years, I'm like, well, that doesn't correlate. That's what I meant. And like, not even that, like, let's say, like, back to what I was saying, if he was like, oh, I want to drive a boat for the rest of my life, I'm like, well, there's no fucking sea next to San Antonio. So where are we going to go to do this? So that's what I mean by stability, and by the fact that like, I want us to verbalize where we both see ourselves in 5 and 10 years and how we mesh to be able to be stable and move forward. I don't mean like, hey, what's your income? Like, that's gold digger. I didn't mean that by stability. I don't need to know. I do need to know your income eventually. But when we're talking about this in the beginning of our relationship, I wanted to know, hey, am I going to be stable? Or am I going to be taken care of? Am I going to be able to take care of you? You take care of me, and we work in partnership.
Yes,
That's what I meant.
And all these values work together. Why? Because if you don't have faithfulness in your relationship, then you can't have stability. Mm-hmm. Why? Because if you don't make your partner trust you, then or her feelings won't be stable. So that means there's no stability, and it works hand in hand.
Yeah, hand in hand.
So without faithfulness, you won't have stability, and I think that it's really important to be stable. You don't want to be sleeping next to a person that you don't know if they're gonna be the same tomorrow. You don't want to be second guessing your feelings towards that person. And if you don't have faithfulness, you don't have faith in that person, then why be with them? Because you're not going to get the stability.
You're struggling there, right?
I'm doing my best, bro.
Okay, so my third value goes back to kind of stability and faithfulness. So my third value was family. And my... Stop laughing like that. Yeah.
Next.
Jose struggles with his English, so right here, we're going to give him props for that. But my third value was family, and I don't mean this as like, hey, if you don't get along with my brother and my tia and my mom, because shit, that is a whole other ball game and drama you got to deal with. But when I meant family, back to what we said, if he was like, hey, I see myself in 5 years with a bunch of kids, and I'm like over here like, well, I don't see myself with one kid in 5 years, then that's kind of where family goes. What I meant by that is what is family in your head? Like, where do you envision that? Because then you get these men that I've had friends that they're like, oh, my boyfriend gives his half of his check to his mom. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that wouldn't ride over here, right? Because they're so mommy focused, or they're so ingrained into their family. I want to know how ingrained you are in your family and where you see yourself. Like when it came to us, we were like, that's your family and I respect your family, and that's my family and I respect my family. But where does our family stand?
Yes.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, whenever you start a relationship, it's because you, at one point in that relationship, I'm pretty sure that you want to marry that person. And if you don't believe in marriage, you probably want to stay with that person your whole life. So if you're with that person, that means you're going to start a new family. So I don't know if you know this, but once you're supposed to leave your family, like your mom, dad, and siblings, to create your own family. So that means you have to detach, especially if you're a man, you have to detach yourself from your family. When I say detach, I don't mean that you have to stop talking to them or caring for them. But what I mean is, like, financially, you only have to take care of yourself. That way you can start taking care of your girlfriend or your wife, because at one point you're gonna have kids, right? So that means you have to provide for your wife and your kids. But if you're still providing for your mom, then you're actually hurting your own family. Mm-hmm. And then now your previous family or your roots, they're gonna become your financial problem, mm-hmm. which is what you don't want. It's the same thing as when somebody it's in need of money and they ask you for money and you lend them money, then now their financial problems become yours. Mm-hmm. So that's why you always need to detach yourself financially from your mother and siblings, uncles, everybody, and you only need to focus first in yourself. That way you can become a complete person, and after you're a complete person, then on your significant other, and then after that, then you build your little family and you start a new family with new values. And you probably don't like the way you were raised, so now you want to make sure that your kids are raised the way you want it to be raised.
Yeah, that's the only way you break chains in families, when you're like, I don't like the way this and this happens. So you kind of break that chain in the family chain. I saw that.
English is very difficult.
You break that chain of family errors and you do it with your family. So we had this conversation and it's been working great. And the reason why one of those was my values was because I have on Aliyah, of course, and I wanted to see where he envisioned himself as a family. And he's been doing great, I guess, right? Because he wouldn't be here. But I did want to talk about a value that wasn't that didn't correlate with what my values were, but it was one of Jose's biggest value. And the reason why I want to talk about it was because it wasn't one of my values, but I think it's very, very, very extremely important. And I think it's respect. Jose's third value was respect. Like, hey, I am not bending. If you disrespect me in this and this and way, these are red flags that I'm just gonna be like, I verbalize that this is my value, and if you break this, it's like a no, I'm leaving, and you learn your lesson, come back to me when you know how to respect me. And I appreciated that because, como ustedes saben, how y'all know, soy bien hocicona. I have a huge mouth. And I didn't realize it because in my previous relationships, what used to be normal to me shouldn't have never been normalized. And I didn't realize that till I was with someone that valued respect to the level that he did. Because, like, let's say, right, like jugando, playing around, I'm like, no seas mamón, right? And I had that word, mamón, which means what? Stuck up in English. And I used to always say that to him.
No,
like,
but in Spanish, it's just way worse.
So in Spanish to him, it's but like really, really bad.
Everybody's vocabulary or definition of words is different, right? And to me, mamón it's bad if it comes from a person that I love.
So I used to have that word a lot, or I used to be like what else would I say? Well, I say a lot of things, but don't say that. But I used to always say mamón, and I guess like to me it was normalized. And
oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, shut up. I'm not that bad.
Like, I see a lot of people that they allow that in their relationship. I don't know why, but to me it's like, so all these values, like I said, they work hand on hand, right?
Him putting me on blast.
Faithfulness. Okay, so respect, right? That's, I think, the most important. Why? Because once you put all your values on the table and you tell your significant other, so I want this, this, and that. What do you want? And then she tells you what she wants, and then y'all come with the list, right? But then at the end of the day, respect, then that means you have to respect all the core values. And if you don't, then you can't have anything. Yeah. Without stability, okay, without faithfulness, you can't have stability. Without stability, you can't have a family. And without the respect, you can't have family. And without respect, you can't have anything.
Any 1, 2, 3, you can't have any
like,
of them.
All right, bro, so are you gonna respect this or not? And if you can't respect me, then I don't expect you to respect my values or your values.
Word.
Or if I don't see you respecting me, the values, to me, I don't think short term. I think about the future kids that are coming from me and her. But then you want to have a better, like I said, if you don't like the way they raised you, then you have to raise the next generation the way you want it to be raised. And then in hopes that they're gonna do the same over and over and over. And that way we can create a better future human. Because I think that's how evolution works.
Evolution works, yep.
But I mean, not a lot of people think as deep. But
yeah, or don't have serious conversations to where, hey, like, this is it, you know? And people normalize being disrespectful. They see it as like, soy la tóxica or like whatever. And it shouldn't be normalized because you should be respectful towards your other person. Like me, like I said, mamón, to some people it's normal, but it shouldn't, because to me, in my previous relationships, I used to be like, ay, no seas mamón, like, and it was funny, or like we joked around about it. But then I came here, and then I was like fully aware when he was like, hey, what did you call me? And I was like, oh, te dije que no seas mamón, but like, estoy jugando. And he's like, yo ni jugando, like, don't tell me playing around, don't call me mamón. I told you in the beginning, my values respect, don't talk to me like that. And that's when I was like, whoa, like thank you for doing that. But I think that's when I went like full throttle, tunnel vision, like, dude, you need to work on this, you know? And I feel like if someone doesn't do that and it's like, hey, we talked about my values, I'm not bending on them, work on it, and then come talk to me when you're respectful. And no one had ever done that to me, but it brought awareness that I needed to be aware of what I was saying, because it's not normal to do that. Now, if he would have done the same thing like with stability, he would have we kind of hold ourselves accountable with stability too, because he verbalized where he sees himself in 5 years, in 10 years. And then like when he's not doing it, I'm like, hey, well, that doesn't correlate with what you told me 5-10 years ago, where you're just trying to look good. And he kind of does the same thing with me. He's like, hey, get your butt up. You're going to be 10 pounds heavier, because he knows one of my things is like staying healthy, looking the part with personal training and a nurse. If you care so much about health, why are you eating like trash? And then that's kind of how we do it. Like
when she asks me, hey, it hurts. What do you think it is? And I'm like, well, you're the nurse. You should know what it is.
That's your time. Go home. I'm playing. No, but yeah, that's what we mean. I feel like a lot of people's values are bent if you verbalize that, hey, this is my no bending zone, don't bend them. Those are red flags. You should bring awareness to them. And if they're not willing to work on what they hurt you, like where they messed up on hurting those values, come back and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I shouldn't have done that. Promise to continue to work on myself. Then I feel like that just isn't a relationship for you. Because what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Just continue to bend your values? And then eventually it's not a value anymore. It doesn't matter what you had that conversation or not 3 years ago. And that's kind of where you sit. So you're like, now I'm in a disrespectful, unfaithful, and with no stability relationship. And it just isn't a relationship.
Yeah, and if you have kids, then you're going to teach them that. And then that's just going to continue.
Yep.
Just like your parents show you how to be like that. You just need to change it. See, no?
See, no?
Yes or yes?
So that kind of wraps up the video for today. I hope that helped y'all. I feel like this topic is way overlooked. It needs to happen. And if you're barely starting on a relationship.
Yeah, and since we know we're the biggest influencers here in San Antonio, we just thought that this video was necessary.
It is necessary. It is very necessary. But remember, guys, do not bend. Our values don't have to be y'all's values. This is just an example. These are my values. I mentioned one of Jose Luis's. Y'all work on y'all's own, verbalize them, have those big, deep, strong conversations with your significant other. And always remember them when y'all mess those values up, or when y'all feel like cussing out Charles' partners. Remember, I can't disrespect him. That's one of his biggest values. So have those conversations, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social medias. Jose Luis just started posting on his YouTube channel as well about financial stability. We talk about our real estate, how much in depth.
In Spanish.
And in Spanish.
I can do it in English as well, but...
No, he can't.
Yes, I can.
No, he can't.
Yes, I can, because I learned everything in English.
He learned it. But he shares a lot of really good financial tips on there. He talks to y'all about how much, and shows y'all our financial real estate debt and how we're getting out of there. Thank God this year we're out of it. We're finally gonna be back to our usual Jose Luis and Angel crazy self, vacationing. And I'm out of nursing school in December. So y'all keep following us, like, subscribe, and thank y'all so much for the support.
Ya nos vemos.
Bye.